Bitcoin just dumped and broke out of the descending triangle. Now the question everyone is asking is, will we go further down to maybe even $5,400? Or was that already the biggest dump, and will we bounce back higher to the upside for good? We will answer that question. Finally back on track, DavinciJ15. Thank you so much for coming here. But before we go straight into the charts, before we pull up the charts, we want to come to the most important question of the day. DavinciJ15, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, man. This is a crazy day. It's one of those days on the stock market where like you see people going, oh my God.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
especially-
And I mean, right now, everyone is freaking out. We can check it out in our Telegram group. I mean, by the way, link in the description down below. Everyone is freaking out. But the great thing is, like, for the last couple of days, we always thought, because we are moon boys, like, the likelihood is high that we break to the upside. But however, we didn't went on a long trade. What we did is we waited for the breakout. And now in hindsight, that was amazing. So congrats for everyone who got onto that short trade and who already made some gains. And DaVinci, now we can maybe share with the people what you think about the situation, what you are doing, what your bearish price targets are, and what you think where the Bitcoin price might be going. And while you are pulling up the charts, maybe quick disclaimer already, we opened a short trade here on the MMCrypto side, and we already closed the majority of the position at 8,500 because of the CME gap and because of some other technicals out there. There's only a small position left. No matter what happens, we will be stopped out in a big profit. But yeah, I mean, it can go lower, but we shouldn't get all too greedy. Nevertheless, DaVinci, you have some serious knowledge bombs to drop now.
Yes. Okay. So let me just hide this here. Here, as you can see, right, we've dropped down. What's interesting on this daily chart is you can see the 200-day moving average right here coming up, and we've like sort of bounced off of it today so far. But what's interesting, what I'd like to point out here is that it also matches up with the weekly's 30 period moving average, which is very interesting. But let's see what that does. I think we might get a bounce off of here, and this thing come right back into this triangle before the end of the week. That would be a positive sign. If not, right, we have to stay the following week. We have to close either back up here, or we're probably going to go into death spiral, unfortunately. Let's hope for the best on that one.
Yeah, but we are here not talking about the classical death spiral. Everyone is talking about like the hash rate going lower and stuff. I mean, in the end, the hash rate is following the price and not the other way around. But I know what you mean, like that we are just going significantly lower. Can we maybe also talk about these price targets? Like if the worst comes true, what do you think is the end for the Bitcoin price? What do you think where we can go to actually in the worst case scenario?
Well, on the absolute worst case scenario, I'm thinking like the 5,400 level, right? There's a 78.6 down here that's in the middle of the two reload zones. So I mean, it really becomes a lot of pressure in this area here, where there's a lot of buying pressure. So it'd be really difficult for the Bitcoin price to break down even further as it gets into this area, because there's going to be a lot of people buying. As I've said here, if you're buying Bitcoin from way back here when we were here, if you're buying Bitcoin down here or even in this area, this green zone, you're still buying it at a really discounted price. So this is a good place to be a buyer, and looks like you might be getting a chance in that region. But don't count on it, because this is Bitcoin.
Exactly, man. And you never know. And yeah, I mean, there is no way to get around of that. I'm a moon boy. At MMCrypto, we are moon boys. Of course, we are admitting to that. But the last few days, we just told you, it is just seriously very, very dangerous to go on a long trade in the end of the triangle, because if we work to break down, things get ugly. You can actually also pull up today's episode. We exactly covered the long entries and the possible short entries in case we break to the downside. And I mean, this volatility is crazy. Even if we go on the 1 hour, we can see huge candles to the downside. But what do you think about the 200-day moving average? I mean, this one is so important in the, like, coming from a bull market perspective, because as we know, always when we are above the 200-day moving average, most of the people say we are in a bull market. If we are below, most of the people say we are in a bear market. What do you think about that? Do you think we should hold that?
I think we will probably hold this. That's my gut feeling based on Bitcoin's past history, and especially since we're in this very rip-roaring bull market with low volume, except here on Bybit where the volume is like out of this world.
By the way, link in the description down below, $110 bonus for everyone.
Yeah, actually, there's now a $200 bonus if you don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for higher trading volumes, there's even a $200 bonus. So, guys, only that link. Click it down below.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Bybit here. There was a trade here which I didn't take, but I had like two dabbles that were like. The interesting thing about these two dabbles, the entry points were the exact same, which I found very interesting. And look at that. This is where you took the profits, and you're already walking away with. And the interesting point is the profit was at exactly the 200-day moving average, which I found very, very interesting, based on the fact that if you understood how the dabble works, right, this is where your stop loss would be. Now, where do you think? Where do I think that we're going? Well, it's too late to go into a short here.
I mean, that's just ludicrous right now.
Suicidal.
Ludicrous, man. I mean, everyone who missed the breakout to the downside or to the breakdown, like, do not jump on that right now. No financial advice, but jumping on it while the dump is already happening and while we are already tanked like 10-15%, that makes no sense, guys. I mean, there can be a short squeeze each and every time. So yeah, DaVinci, please go on. Sorry for interrupting, but that was actually a very important disclaimer.
Exactly. So let's go in the really short. Maybe we shouldn't go that short. Let's start with the 4-hour. The 4-hour is like clearly oversold. I think we're going to have a little bit of a breather time here because like we're way outside the Bollinger Band. We've opened the 4-hour. This new 4-hour way outside the Bollinger Band. Can we go a little bit lower? Yes, we can. I wouldn't be surprised if we just retest this bottom, but don't count on it. I would say that this candle, this next 4 hours is going to be a little bit of up and down craziness here, and we're going to go a little bit sideways before we make a decision whether we're going to come back up and back into the triangle, the descending triangle, or roll over and go further down. So we have to wait for that and decide, basically trade a particular plan for the next setup, whatever it is, right? So you'd have to wait for the hourly candles to give you indication. But if we were to go to the hourly candles, let's see, was that the hourly candles?
Well, it seems like 60 minutes. Yeah.
Let's go to the hourly candles. The hourly candles, if you ask me, has more downside based on what this 3 drives push this the 3 musketeers indicator that I have says that we have more downside. Doesn't mean that it always works. I don't trust this indicator because this indicator is like not as useful as my Davo, I feel. But it does give me a little bit of an indication that, hey, you know what, we might be seeing a little bit more downside during the consolidation. So look for some sort of trade setup that would say, okay, yes, confirm that as well. As it stands right now, also what I've noticed is that whenever we get on 13 EMA, the price is going across and cuts into the 13 EMA and just goes straight down and doesn't slowly roll down. What happens is we get a bounce back up here. So that might be an interesting thing, but it's not guaranteed, of course, but just what I've seen
Bounces
before.
are never guaranteed, especially not for Bitcoin. But thanks that you are bringing that up, because everyone being so extremely bullish and us even talking about price targets of 5,400 in the worst case. I mean, there can be bounces. We can even bounce back and have a bullish continuation. That is possible. So right now, it is a very, very heated up situation, and it is very dangerous to just like without any trading plan, taking any actions. But DaVinci, what you are saying is, if you are not in a trade right now, if you missed that short trade right now, you would just sit there and let the market tell you what to do. What about the people who went into a short trade? I mean, we already said that we closed a big part of our position at 8,500 in a profit. But what about the people who didn't close it, who are looking for further downside? What would you personally do if you were in a short trade right now after the breakout?
Well, looking at this 1 hour, the 13 EMA looks like it's going to have to be retested, because look, I mean, we haven't been above the 13 EMA since like quite some time ago, like on the 22nd, before the Bakkt was launched. And the interesting thing, when I go back to the Bakkt, remember how we had this date? I want to go back here. Notice if we come back to the 4 hour, go to the 4 hour here. This was I found very interesting. Or if we even go down to the 1 hour, we had the Bakkt already set up. And from that time, from that date that it was launched, you can see it was just straight down.
It is exactly like the CME back in the days, exactly like in December 2017, man. Wow. Yeah, you cannot make it up. It's horrible. It is horrible indeed. But in the end, the question will be, is that because of the Bakkt disappointment, because the volume was so low? Probably it can be. It will be most certainly, or like even for 100% certainty, it is not because of institutions shorting on Bakkt. That's not the case. It might be because of the disappointment on Bakkt. So what you are... Yeah, what
I would not agree with that. Based on what I've learned, is that markets buy the rumor and sell the news.
Yeah,
I think Bitcoin has been bid up to these highs because somebody knew Bakkt was coming in and was buying it up into that news, and then was dumping it as the news came closer and closer to the reality. And so yeah, that's generally what happens. So what I want everybody to do, and all of our audience to do, is then when we have the ETF, is to not be bullish. That's a serious bearish day when that ETF finally launches.
But the price, because that will be far out in the future, the price will be probably much higher than today, much higher. Because the ETF should come out when the price somehow is about to peak out. And then they want to dump on the people buying the ETF, actually. So yeah, DaVinci, you said that, I remembered, you said that on the cruise, like month back in time. You even mentioned Bakkt and something like that. So it seems like you were 100% correct on that. And I want to thank you on that once again, because you did that already 5 years ago and so on. It's great to see how that plays out sometimes, because market behavior and psychology doesn't change. Now for wrapping up that episode, do you have any like advice what to do right now, because the short-term future is so uncertain? What are you planning to do right now to handle that situation, to handle that volatility, and maybe even to potentially profit from that situation?
Well, I've been designing a trade algorithm that I've been testing for, let's see here, it's called the breakout continuation trade. And basically what it states is if the market doesn't, if the market comes back on the downside only, comes back to the 38.2, but doesn't come up to the 61.8, that is a continuation down. So you could probably, like what I was noticing is that you would find that if it comes to 38.2, you can get in on the 38.2 and then take a 2-to-1 straight down to continue the trade. That's what I've been seeing lately. This now where this to draw the fib is a different story, because this is a valid point, but unfortunately this is a valid point, and same with a lot of others going up now. So that requires a little bit more skill. and a little bit more finesse, because remember, trading is more of an art than a technical thing, a scientifical thing. Because if it was exact science, everybody would be rich, right?
Exactly. So thank you so much. That's some really wise ending words. Can we maybe go back into the face mode? And also everyone who is interested in DaVinci's great trading setup right there, who wants to get inspired and then make your own educated decision, join our Telegram group. DaVinci is there. From there, you can also get information about a group from DaVinci itself. He has even a Pandora's Wallet group and stuff. You can get these information also in our MMCrypto group. Join there. We will share it. And you can get basically everything, video alerts from DaVinci, from us, together, like our common videos. Everything is over there. So, yeah, DaVinci, first of all, how was your trip? And do you have any other important announcements to make?
My trip was lots of fun. I spent it with the family, about 10 of us, so it was like quite an interesting trip, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, well, the announcement says basically I'm going to be headed over to Illinois. I'm going to be doing a wealth summit conference there, and I will be speaking. Also, I'm going to be with Tony Vase in Bali.
Tone Vase, yeah.
Sorry, I keep doing.
Why are you keep doing that, man? When he's watching our episode, he will be so angry. So yeah, that's fine. But I can tell everyone who is nearby, I can highly recommend to go to an event where DaVinci is speaking, because DaVinci, I'm honest, brutally honest, the speech you held in Hamburg was the best speech I have ever listened to in my life. You can go over to Carl the Moon. You can ask him. He will say exactly the same. And we will publish that speech once they have finally published it on their channels. We will publish it and share it with you guys. That speech was amazing. Whenever you have any doubts on Bitcoin, you listen to that speech and you will be fully, filled up with belief again. So that was great, DaVinci. Thank you so much for that great experience. We cannot wait to drop that for everyone. And also everyone watching right now, if you are planning to take advantage of that situation, and if you would call yourself at least an experienced trader, go over to our comment section and click that link here and make an account on Bybit. You can get a $110 bonus after depositing 0.2 Bitcoin on Bybit. And then you can, even if you don't want to touch your own money, just trade with a bonus. That's actually very nice. And make sure that you are an educated trader, because otherwise leverage trading can be very dangerous if you do not know what to do. But yeah, DaVinci, I mean, that being said, I want to show your Pandora's Wallet definitely in the end. Also, there is a link in the description. Many people have downloaded it already. We are getting via DM so much positive feedback. So everyone who is missing out on that, there is a testing period. It's your own fault, guys. You are missing out. Do not miss out. There is a link in the description. Check it out. So that being said, guys, DaVinci, any last words before we wrap up today's episode?
Always play from a position of strength and don't get wrecked.
Do not get wrecked, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you smash up the like button and make sure you watch our Bybit tutorial, which is popping up right here. Make sure you tickle it just right below DaVinci's face. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other in the next one of MMCrypto. Man, I'm on fire. And as always, guys, bye-bye. Don't sell.